7 days had passed since Claria's leg had fully healed. Her arm was nearly there too, just her fingertips left. By tomorrow, she should be completely recovered. After some discussion, we decided to break camp and leave tomorrow. Yes, I could now converse with Claria quite fluently. Occasionally, I still came across unknown words, but for daily conversation, it was no issue at all. Claria even assured me that my pronunciation was practically flawless. Ideally, I would like to converse with others besides Claria to gather language samples, but that would have to wait. Now that we could talk, I asked her why she was being chased and by whom. Claria thought for a moment and asked if she could wait a bit longer before explaining. She promised to tell me everything soon. It must be something complicated. After living with her for a while, I was certain she wasn't a bad person. Probably not a criminal either. So I didn't mind waiting until she was ready. As for her pursuers, if they came, it wouldn't be a small group. Maybe dozens, though unlikely to be more than 100. But she also said they might not come at all. What a vague situation. Should I plan for around 50? I figured a rifle would be enough to manage, but I'd still need to be mentally prepared. I wasn't thrilled about the idea of shooting first and asking questions later. Still undecided about that part. It's been 7 days since I learned magic, but progress on that front had been slow. Well, in some areas it was progressing, but not with fire magic or other offensive spells. That was because I'd asked Nanom for a favor. The Space Marine Corps had a device called a multi-sensor. As the name suggests, it could detect everything around you: terrain, internal structures of buildings, presence of life forms, etc. With it, ambushes were practically impossible, unless someone was cloaking themselves. Since arriving on this planet, the first thing I wished for was a multi-sensor. Amazed by the versatility of magic, I asked Nanom if it was possible to replicate the multi-sensor with magic. Since then, I've been helping with various experiments and had no time or mana to spare. But through this, we discovered many things about mana. All living things possess mana, from big boars to tiny insects. Even plants contain trace amounts. Not enough for a fireball, of course, but it was still a fascinating discovery. Mana gathers where other mana is. However, once a certain amount collects within a body, it begins to repel further mana. The reason for this remains unclear. Interestingly, the amount of mana a being can hold differs by species. But within the same species, it's consistent. For example, Claria and I have identical mana capacity. The difference in how many fireballs we can cast seems to be due to how we use mana. According to Claria, the more skilled you are, the more efficiently you can use mana. We're now gathering data on the mana levels of different life forms, hoping to identify species from afar. This daily collection could lead to a kind of mana-based radar. We also discovered that mana behaves like both particles and waves, just like light. It reflects, interferes, and diffracts. This was revealed when we learned we could emit mana directly without casting a spell. When emitted as a pulse, a weak one does nothing, but a strong, rapid pulse bounces off other mana clusters, exhibiting reflective behavior. Using this property, we managed to create a rudimentary mana detection system, like radar. The detection range depends on the strength of the pulse. Stronger pulses detect a wider area. An unexpected development. Claria could sense these pulses. During one of our experiments, she asked what I was doing because she felt a surge of magical power. Apparently, in this world, mana in motion is called magical power. People say they feel it when using magic, but I still can't. Maybe one day. Claria once told me that someone who taught her magic said she had an exceptionally strong sense for mana. So I had her help with the experiments. If using this detection magic alerted the animal to our location, it would be useless. Ideally, I wanted to detect them without them detecting us. We discovered that the strength of the magical power Claria senses also depends on distance, which makes sense. That led to an idea. Increase the pulse strength in stages. For example, start with a weak pulse that can't be detected from 50 meters away. If nothing's there, go to 75 meters, then 100 meters. This way we can scan stealthily, hopefully. If it doesn't work, we'll adjust. The best part is Nanom can activate this detection magic on its own, probably because it doesn't require much visualization. I just give it the command and it executes it, showing the results on a virtual display. It's just like the multi-sensor interface and easy to use. The cost of this detection magic is excellent, about 100th the mana of a single fireball. We'll use it as much as we can. We couldn't recreate the multi-sensor perfectly, but even detecting life forms alone is incredibly useful. When I reported our success to Claria, she froze again in awe, then immediately begged me to teach her the spell. To be honest, this spell only works because of Nanom's sensory and processing capabilities, so I dodged the question telling her she might learn it once she gets better at magic. Somehow, this led us to going hunting together today. I'm not quite sure how that happened. It was nearly noon after we wrapped up the final testing. Let's eat before we head out. Grilled fish and big boar stir fry with vegetables. A classic combo, but tasty. Ready to go hunting? Of course! Let's go, Alan! Claria looked like she couldn't barely wait. She used to be shy when saying Alan, but now she was used to it. Her speech had gotten much more casual, too. The hunting ground was a mountain about an hour's walk from camp. For some reason, it had an abundance of edible plants, which attracted animals. We headed there using detection magic along the way.
To kill time on the way, I taught Claria some simple hand signals used in the Space Corps. We usually relied on radio comms, so I'd never used them, but here they could be useful. After walking for 30 minutes, we got a ping from detection magic. 2 targets at our 3 o'clock, about 200 meters out. I used hand signals to inform Claria. She nodded seriously, understanding. They were approaching, but not directly. Probably hadn't noticed us yet. Judging by their movement, likely greyhounds. We'd run into greyhounds before, usually in 1s or 2s, 3 at most. We'd always dealt with them. Dangerous beasts need to be culled. Probably greyhounds. Alan, let me take one of them. Whoa, Claria's fired up. She's armored up, so let's see her skills. I had a rifle ready in case things got dicey. All right, stay calm. They'll be here in about 30 seconds. By the way, this world's time units match human standard. 1 minute is 60 seconds, 1 hour is 60 minutes, and a day is 24 hours. A year has 360 days. This planet uses a 12-hour AM/PM system like back home. Strangely, all human-inhabited planets use the same time system. The leading theory is that a third party who brought humans to these planets taught them how to measure time. No other theory explains it as well. Even more oddly, most of these planets have an orbital period of roughly 360 days, again suggesting intentional selection by a third party. Claria drew her sword and stared ahead. It was a slim, ornate, and cool-looking one-handed blade. About 10 seconds later, it began to glow. Whoa, she can use Final Blade too? Then so can I. I drew my own sword and activated Final Blade, making it glow. The greyhounds must have noticed something. Their marker on the virtual window was rushing toward us. I stepped in front of Claria, raised a hand, and started a 5-second countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, eye contact with a greyhound. It lunged straight at me. As usual, I dodged sideways and slashed downward, cleanly severing its head. Claria stepped forward, right on cue. The second greyhound paused, perhaps startled by its fallen partner. But seeing Claria approach, it leapt at her. Calmly, she sidestepped and slashed down. Shallow hit, but she flipped her sword and slashed upward. A fatal blow. She slit its throat. It flailed weakly, but Claria finished it off. Wait, was that the basic combo I taught her? She did it well. Claria looked thrilled. I lowered my rifle. Alan, how did I do? Pretty good. Just, after that upward slash, you left yourself open. It's best to move into the next action in case you don't finish it in one blow. Corinth-style swordsmanship is all about overwhelming with rapid strikes. Always think one step ahead. But Cleria isn't my student or aspiring to learn Corinth style. She nodded thoughtfully and practiced her swing. All right, with the beasts dealt with, we moved on. Alan, aren't you going to take the magic stones? Huh? Magic stones? What are those again? Cleria gave me the usual look she does when I ask a basic question. Magic stones are the gems found inside magical beasts. So, what's a magical beast? Are all animals magical beasts? If it has a magic stone, it's a magical beast. If not, it's just an animal. Whoa, new discovery. Come to think of it, those green creatures we fought had round stones inside. So, what do you do with these stones? You can sell them in town, though greyhound stones aren't worth much. Aha, an unknown word appeared. Time to update my lexicon. I replayed her words. You can sell them in town, though greyhound stones aren't worth much. That hit me hard, not the selling part, but realizing I'd totally forgotten about money. The round metal discs we found when organizing supplies after Cleria was attacked, that was currency. In the Empire, credits had been digital for millennia. Physical money didn't exist. I had no concept of money as a material item. Nanom, you missed this too. Yes, I saw no immediate need for it. Same here. I just kept a few as metal samples. That was a mistake. We'll need money when we get to Cleria's destination, Gatalia. Should we go back to the wagon to retrieve them? No, we might be followed. No guarantee they're still there. Maybe Cleria has some. Hey, Cleria, do you have any money? I tried to ask casually. No, I don't. Well, she forgot too. That means we'll have to earn some. If magic stones are valuable, we should collect them. Where are they located? Here. A wolf diagram popped up on the window, highlighting the chest. Makes sense. Magic stones contain a high mana concentration. Cut open the chest with a knife? Ugh, no thanks. I'll just slice it open with my sword. I activated Final Blade and sliced carefully to avoid damaging the stone. After some probing, I found it. A cloudy white orb just under 3 centimeters. Secured both. Cleria didn't know the market value, but it was worth taking. We resumed our hunt. 20 minutes later, detection magic pinged again. One target, 2 o'clock, about 200 meters away, stationary. I signaled Cleria and we approached quietly. I had a hunch what it was. Sure enough, a blackbird. The only thing in this area that just sits in trees. Cleria motioned to let her take it. I nodded, and we crept closer. We got within 40 meters. Cleria closed her eyes, preparing. Flame arrow. 3 fiery arrows shot toward the bird, but Cleria's voice alerted it. It tried to fly, but one arrow hit a wing. It fell. We both ran. It was still lively, though unable to fly. It started running, surprisingly fast. After it, we chased it together. It wasn't faster than us, but it weaved through trees. So close, but hard to catch. We split up. After 3 minutes of running, Cleria's sword finally landed a hit. Whew, exhausting. Cleria laughed loudly, clearly having fun. 2 grown-ups seriously playing tag. I couldn't help but laugh too. We drained the bird's blood and returned to camp. The liver was a rare white liver, and we enjoyed it as sashimi.